What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great Saturday. There has been some bad storms that have been rolling through across the United States. We're scheduled to get them tomorrow. They're talking about hail and thunderstorms and tornadoes and everything else. Please be safe out there and definitely heed the warnings of stuff and make sure everything's battened down. And I'm not going to lie, we need the rain. It has been so dry here on the East Coast for about the last year or so. We've had more forest fires and things like that. So an inch of rain will do good for the rivers and the fish and the plants and everything else. Maybe my grass will grow and look nice and green this year because it looked bad last year. Just could not. Listen, I did the weed and feed and everything else and all that stuff. I planted the grass seed. The grass seed didn't start growing until the fall when we finally started getting some rain. That's how bad it's been here. Anyway, be that as it may, it is Saturday, 4 o'clock, actually 4:20. And guess who's still on the Atlanta Falcons roster? Kirk frickin' Cousins. Would you believe, as much as we talk about how much money Dak Prescott has cost and been paid and everything else, that Kirk frickin' Cousins has made $294 million. Almost a third of $1 billion. Kirk frickin' Cousins. You know what? You got to look at his age and say, bro, you done that shit. You have done that shit. And think about this. His agents have made $29 million. So generally speaking, they're about 10% of your money, which is why some players choose to be their own agents. They say, maybe I don't get as much money on the deal, but I ain't paying an agent to just negotiate for me. And Jerry Jones would love that. He would truly love that. In fact, you know what? I'll actually give you an exact story on something like that. I got hit by a dump truck. This was probably 30 years ago. Michael and Michaela were babies. I mean, they were still car seats and shit. But I had a dump truck coming off the ramp and hit the back of my vehicle. Right? Hit the back of the vehicle. Totaled my van. And the insurance company, were like, okay, we'll pay for the damage in the car and so on, and get that fixed. And they had offered an injury settlement of $5,000. I said, you go sign it right now. We're good. We'll just give you a check for $5,000. And I was advised, man, you need to see an attorney. And I went to see an attorney. I was like, my back's a little bit sore, but I said, I don't think it's that bad. I'm young and things like that. And the attorney said, you don't know how bad you might be hurt. This might be something that 10 years from now, it could be pain and suffering, and it could rear its head back up and everything else. You don't want to settle, right? So I was like, okay. He's like, we need to send you to the doctors and things like that. We're going to go through. He said, because, something like this could be millions of dollars. Really? Millions? I was like, but I'm not, my back's not hurt that bad. It's really not hurt that bad. It's sore. I'm bruised up, but I don't think it's that bad. And so went to the doctor for about 3 months and things, and the attorney, he sent a demand letter to the insurance company demanding that they pay $100,000. Insurance company came back, and I think it was $12,000. $12,000. And so the attorney came back to me and said, well, I think you should take that. I said, wait a minute, I thought you said this might be millions. He said, yeah, but, it could be tied up in litigation, and, it might take years. And he said, the best thing is just settle right now. He said, we got an offer for $12,000. I was like, okay, all right, fine. But then, he took a third. So that was $8,000. $8,000 was left. Okay. All right. But then there was all the medical costs. Me going to the doctor and therapy and everything else for those 3 months. That was another $5,000. So in the end, I got $4,000. Attorney, he got $4,000. You follow what I'm saying there? He got paid, and all he did was write one letter. One letter. That's what he did. One freaking letter. I'm the one that actually got hit and everything else. Doctors, they got $5,000. So when you look at this thing from the agent standpoint, and I don't know how I went off the rails with this thing. I guess I'm still holding that anger of feeling like the attorneys sometimes are a bunch of crooks. They're a bunch of crooks. And sometimes I feel like the agents can be as well. Because in all actuality, when you start looking at the amount of money that these guys are paid, and understand, you're talking about the 1,000th of 1% of people on the earth that can do this. So there's few and far between. When you think there's only 32 starting NFL quarterbacks, and when you say that there's been over 100 years of football and there haven't been 32 teams, you're only talking about 3,000 people in the history of the world that actually can do what these guys do. And so when you take the top brain surgeon out there or the top attorney, they get paid a whole lot more than everybody else. However, something about Kirk Cousins, knowing that he is, I love this. This is clickbait. It's so much clickbait that's going on right now. It's not even funny. I'm seeing that I just came across their newsflash. Cowboy fans upset about the Miles Sanders signing. I tell you, that's a whole nother ball of wax here. Miles Sanders is one of those ones. I realize name players versus non-name. Everybody wants a name player. They want to be able to say, oh my God, we got, and what they did in the past, and they want to project and think, damn, that's a lot of, she got 1 million of the little ducks in that Jeep. Good. I was like, she can't see out the window. But everybody wants a name player on the roster because, of course, that sells jersey. It creates hype. You say Miles Sanders, you remember Miles Sanders, a couple years ago when they went to the Super Bowl and things, and that season he had. But the reality is Miles Sanders got less than 400 yards in the last couple of years. And so you look at that and say, between Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams, you're paying more than Rico, who knew your system, your quarterback, and had more yards to carry. Anyway, Kirk freaking Cousins. He's staying in Atlanta. That's going to be an interesting dynamic to have a backup quarterback getting paid that much. Alrighty, people. I've got all the Christmas stuff off the porch, and I got my nephew here staring at me. He's probably hungry because it seems like that's all they do. Eat and watch television and hang on their phone and lose it on the damn trail. He literally left it a half mile up the freaking trail going to Afton Mountain, in which case we had to go back in the dark to find it. I'm a good uncle. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm a damn good uncle. Peace.